So what did they bring you in for?
I was arrested for blasphemy, for suggesting that Canada has a housing bubble, and for preaching against the almighty CMHC.
The CMHC? What's that? Is it an internet acronym like LOL?
No, the CMHC is no laughing matter. It stands for the Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation, a crown corporation that insures residential mortgages.
How fascinating. But look at the time. Got to run. Jersey Shore is starting.
Please wait. You must listen. The CMHC's policies are fueling a housing bubble of massive proportions. Once this bubble bursts, it is we taxpayers who will be on the hook for its bad decisions.
Explain.
Well, in a perfect world, if housing prices get too high and losers can't afford to buy, then banks will slow lending or demand more collateral. That's because they don't want to lose money should the economy stumble and losers default on their loans.
Sounds very prudent.
It would be if that's what banks actually did, but in Canada, banks don't need to monitor this risk. That's because here, banks who lend to losers are protected by insurance which reimburses them should the loser default.
But that sounds like a good thing.
For the banks, yes. But for the taxpayers, no. That's because the biggest supplier of loser insurance is the taxpayer-funded CMHC. So, should housing prices collapse and losers default, it is the taxpayers who will pay for the losses, not the banks.
I'd been wondering for a long time how those Queen West posers afforded their concrete boxes. Are they in fact the losers of which you speak?
Don't be so narrow-minded. There's many types of losers in Canada. But the irony is, being a loser in Canada actually makes you a winner. After all, if a bank is willing to lend the money, then what does a loser have to lose? If prices go up, they get rich. And if the housing market crashes, they can just declare bankruptcy and move back in with their parents. The real losers are the taxpayers.
I guess it's a good thing then that I get paid minimum wage. Taxes for me are not a big issue.
But surely you must have some empathy for the poor souls who have recently bought thinking that house prices can only go up. With banks willing to lend losers heaps of money because of the government removing the risk and interest rates abnormally low, house prices have skyrocketed higher than they would otherwise be. This means we're left with prices that families can't afford, and a great deal of vulnerability to external shocks.
Now that's clearly ridiculous. I was told that the housing market is balanced and healthy, particularly in cities like Vancouver where prices have only tripled in the last 10 years.
Well, if the market is so fantastic, then why do the banks need us to insure their mortgages? Let them take the risk. Why should they get the gains and we get the losses?
Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants, so why does the government allow this to happen?
Maybe because it's good politics. Rising house prices make people happy. A vote is a vote even if it comes from a loser. Besides, what politician in his right mind would have the guts to say anything negative about the CMHC? It's gotten so big, reining it in now could be the straw that breaks the housing camel's back.
Just how big is it?
Big. And getting bigger. In recent years, most of Canada's new mortgages have been CMHC insured, and total insurance in force stands at $473 billion. That's half of all mortgages in Canada, and up from only 40% in 2006. Banks are legally required to obtain insurance on loans where there's only a 5 to 20% down payment, so clearly more and more people are buying with less money down.
What a load of nonsense. Surely the CMHC knows what it's doing. It is a government organization after all. Surely it's set aside enough capital to protect us if the housing market collapses.
According to the latest data, the CMHC's insurance business has $8.2 billion in capital, with $6.7 billion reserved for potential claims. In other words, it would take $15 billion of losses to wipe them out. Is that a sufficient cushion considering they've insured $473 billion of Canada's riskiest mortgages? You do the math.
Wow. I'm so happy you are here. I have learned so much.
I'm glad. So you buy my logic?
No, but I will buy a house as soon as I can get a loan.
What? Why?
Because I'm a loser too, you stupid man. I'm in a dead-end job and have nothing to lose. If prices go up, and everybody knows they will, I get rich. And in the unfathomable event that prices go down, I'll simply go bankrupt, move back with the folks and drink tiger blood with all my loser friends.